insidious one. It's like something in the back of most people's mind, but they never will say it out loud. And it's one of the biggest blockers of all the blockages of wealth. Are you ready?
Yes.
Rich and successful people admire and model. What's the two words? Admire other rich and successful people. And what do most everybody else do? They resent the heck out of them, yes or yes? Most poor and middle class people often look at other people's success with resentment or jealousy or envy, or they snip, they're so lucky, or they whisper naughty things under their breath. You have to realize something so simple, that if you view rich people as bad in any way, shape, or form, and you want to be a good person, then you can never be rich. You can never be rich. You can never be rich. So, you have to practice. Say, I have to practice. So instead of resenting rich people, I want you to practice admiring rich people. I want you to practice blessing rich people. I want you to practice loving rich people. That way you unconsciously know that when you get rich, other people will what? They'll admire and bless and love you instead of resent the heck out of you. Much better for creating wealth. Yes or yes?
Yes.
You know, I want to share with you a philosophy that completely transformed my life. Are you willing to hear it? It's from the Huna philosophy. Where does Huna come from? Hawaii, thank you. And it simply says this: bless that which you want. Say it with me. Bless that which you want. Bless that which you want. So what that means is this: if you see somebody with a beautiful home, bless that home and bless that person. If you see somebody with a beautiful car, bless that car and bless that person. If you see somebody with a beautiful family, bless that family and bless that person. If you see somebody with a beautiful, wonderful business, bless that business, bless that person. Why? Because anything that you negate, you can never have. Never. Does that make any sense? And you got to watch it. It's so quick, isn't it? It's so quick to do a little tinge of resentment, to negate them. And meanwhile, you know you can't have it after that. So, I have a little practice for you on this one. Next time you see somebody coming out of a limousine, I mean, someone who's got some money, obviously. Not some party kids with 48 people in the limo. Prom night! No, you know what I'm talking about. I want you to walk over to that person coming out of that limousine. I want you to shake their hand. And I want you to say, thank you. Thank you for being an excellent role model for me for creating success. Thank you for being such an excellent role model for success. Are you willing? All right. Please stand up for the declaration. Hands on your heart. I admire rich people. I bless rich people. I love rich people. I study rich people. And I'm going to be one of those rich people too. Turn to somebody, give them a high five and say, you have a millionaire mind. You know, we're talking a lot about rich people, getting rich, being rich. And some people come up to me all the time, they go, Harv, what's with the rich thing? Like, why, are you so into that? And I said, look, I've been called a financial evangelist. And I take that as a compliment. Why? Because someone's got to be a proponent for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Amen, right. So, but let's talk about it because it's more than just money. So let's talk about why be rich. Number one, lifestyle. What's the word? Hey, obviously that's the most obvious one, for the wonderful lifestyle that can afford you and your family. It's a nice way to live, yes or yes? Yes. But number two is contribution. What is it? Here's my thoughts. It says this. My feeling is this, that if you have the wherewithal to be rich, it's your duty, it's your obligation to do so. Why? So that you can help people who simply do not have that wherewithal. Does that make sense to you all? Because, and I'll say this, that if you're in this room, you probably have the wherewithal. Especially you self-selected yourself to be here. If you're hearing this message, you selected yourself to be that. You understand? And here's where I came up with that, like very specifically, a good example. A while ago, I was reading in the newspaper about a woman in Africa, Tanzania to be exact, and she has a goiter problem. Do y'all know what a goiter problem? It's like when they have the big, thick neck, right? And it's a thyroid problem. And you know that problem can be completely alleviated with a 10-minute surgery, 10-minute operation, and it's gone. In Tanzania, they have a decent medical system, but it's a pay-for-play deal. In other words, you pay for your doctor or your hospitalization or whatever. This woman with this goiter problem has, and it costs, by the way, $31 for this 10-minute operation. She has been saving for just over 5 years. 5 years, and she has $22. Twice a week she doesn't eat. She has a newborn child who's going to be another mouth to feed, so she's feeling that it's going to take her another 5 years to get the other $9. So you would think, for goodness sake, someone just send her the stupid $9. Problem. There are millions, what's the word? Millions. Of people in this situation. Millions. Not one, not two, not 10, not 10,000, and not hundreds of thousands. Millions in this situation. So how can you help them better? By being broke or being rich enough to be able to do something about it? Do you understand what I'm saying? And I get this all the time. I get people saying, well, you know, what about the environment? What about this? And what about they're taking all the oil and they're killing all the forest and all that? They. Yes, some of them are. You want to save the environment? Get rich, buy a few million acres and save it. You're going to have some power and control over your land. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes. Take responsibility is what I want to say on that. Okay, this one over here, one more here. This is critical. The third reason is for what? Who you have to become in order to create wealth. In other words, who do you have to be in character, in virtue, in traits? How big do you have to be to get rich versus, being broke? And there's certain characteristics that it takes to be incredibly successful. Because what creates success? And isn't it one of the things being one of the best in your field? Yes or no? Yes, yes or no? Yes. Absolutely. Who do you have to be? What do you have to know? Who do you have to be in character to be the best at what you do in order to get paid the most? Does that make sense to you? So who do you have to become? It's a learning process. And that brings us to the next way that rich people actually think quite differently and are quite different than most other. Rich people are what? Bigger than their problems. What is it? Bigger than their problems. And most other people are what? Smaller than their problems. Smaller. And the secret, guys, I want you to hear something right now. If you will just understand and take action on this one right here, I promise you, mano a mano, heart to heart, your life will just skyrocket. It will go to a whole other level, and you'll see why in a moment. Are you ready? Yes. Listen closely. The secret to success, my friends, is not to try and avoid or get rid of your problems. The secret to success is to grow yourself so you are bigger than any problem. We got the size of you, and we got the size of your problem. And let's do a little scale here. So here we are. Here's you and here's your problem. And we are dealing with, say, a level 5 problem. But you happen to be a level 2 person. Question, is that a big problem or a little problem? That's a big problem, right? But let's say you grow yourself to, say, be a level 8 person. Same problem. Big problem, little problem. Little problem. Now let's say you work with us and you grow yourself to be, say, a level 10 person. Big problem, little problem. No problem. It doesn't even exist in the realm of your mind as a problem. You don't see it as a problem. It's just something to take care of, yes or no? Let's test this out. How many of you have ever been in a conversation with somebody who's talking about their problem, and you go to them and you go, I don't see the problem here. Raise your hand if you ever had that happen. Everyone's had that happen. Everyone. Because at that point in time, they are smaller than their problem. So it's not about the size of the problem, it's about the size of you. There's always going to be problems, yes or yes? There's so many times in this business, and I'm sure in your business, but when you get to a higher and higher level, you know, the responsibilities become greater. The amount of money invested becomes more. You have, you know, we have 140 employees. You know, there are staff people. There's, you know, huge overheads and lots of what? Quote unquote problems. And my wife says to me all the time, Harv, why did you choose such a hard business? And I go, it's not about the business. It's about me. Because if I can't handle the problems here, you think I can handle the problems there? Because problems are going to be with you all the time. True or true? And running away from them or playing small because you don't want any problems? That's crazy. Let's face it. We're going to have quote-unquote problems. But the size of those quote-unquote problems will depend on the size of us, not the problem. Raise your hand if you've ever felt like, I don't want to get into the big leagues because there's so many problems there. I just want to have a nice, simple life. Raise your hand. Be honest. Come on. More than half of you in here. How's it working so far? You still have the problems, but you're broke. That's the biggest problem of all. True or true? I figure it this way. If I'm going to have problems, I might as well get rich. All right. So I'm going to give you a little anchor. Who knows what an anchor is? An anchor is what? A trigger so you can remember something. So here's what I want you to do. From now on, every time you look at something you perceive as a major problem in your life, here's what I want you to do. Are you ready?